hi everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Big Joel Show. I've got Kendra Wilkinson in the studio with me today. Exciting. Kendra, you may know who she is, you may not know who she is, but right now Kendra is a real estate agent with Douglas Elliman in California. She's in the Beverly Hills office, and she works on the Ernie Carswell team. And I'm really excited to have her here because in her short time in real estate, when did you get licensed? When did your license?
I got licensed in 2020.
2020, but when did you really start messing around?
A
couple of years of nothing, right?
A year of nothing, and then I decided just dive right in, and I signed with Douglas Elliman and Ernie.
When was that?
That was like 2 years ago.
Okay, so really...
shit. Oh my God, that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, it goes fast.
3.
COVID messed everything up.
Oh my God.
So I'm going to say 3 years, but it doesn't even really feel like 3 years to me because I've known you as a real estate agent for a while. But as a new real estate agent, and really those of you that know me that are watching this know that my theory is as an agent, until you've sold 100 houses, I really don't think you know what you're doing anyway, because there's that many ways to screw stuff up. Yeah. And so, Kendra came in, of course, with an incredible mentor. Those of you that have seen Ernie's podcast with me, and we'll spend some time with Ernie and Kendra together in a little bit, but know that she landed in the right place and, of course, knows a lot of people. And I want to talk to you a little bit about your experience as an agent, as you started, and things you're looking forward to. And just first of all, what made you even think, some people just literally just love real estate. Like they just like looking at pictures of houses when they want to become an agent.
Yeah.
What were you thinking when you said, hey, this is cool? Obviously, you've had a career in television forever since you're 18 years old. Yeah. What made you go, okay, and by the way, in real estate, second careers are totally common. Some of the best agents in the country, they were a school teacher for 20 years before.
Right.
And then they became an agent. Porn stars. Well, I don't know any of those, but that are great agents. But so what made you say, hey, I think I want to do this. This is kind of cool.
Well, it's a long story. I actually passed the test 4 years ago. I just renewed my license.
Did you pass it on the first crack?
I passed on the first
All
try.
right, that's awesome. Not everyone can say that. Yeah.
But I actually really started real estate 3 years ago. So It was a year of like trying to figure out everything, trying to figure out where I'm going to go. And I landed at Douglas Elliman. And we started.
But what put you there? Tell me what put you there. What did you say to yourself? Like, what were you just being in people's houses? Were you just like, hey, I like this. This is like something I'm into. Like when you're looking at stuff, there's certain people that are into cars. They're into looking at stuff. Is that something that always fascinated you? How people lived and where they lived and what their house? I mean, let people know like why you wanted to even do this.
Of course. I came to LA at 18 years old and I started TV. I was living in the most, one of the most valuable properties in the world, and I was just surrounded by luxury for so many years, and it just fascinated me how many people, like we had everyone known to man like sitting next to me, and every now and then I would go to their homes and just be in awe of the architecture and everything that just sits in Beverly Hills and Holmby Hills and Bel Air, and it's just amazing to me. And I've always wanted to start real estate, but I never had the time to do it. So being an entertainer is a whole other career. And so the transition from being an entertainer to an actual agent is a huge transition. It's a whole other career. So what people might see on TV, oh, she's just living and she doesn't really oh no, it's a full-blown career that I had on camera for 20 years.
And anyone that's watching this right now hopefully knows that, and then they know the other side which you were about to talk about. And people take real estate like very nonchalantly. Like most agents like work an hour a day. I don't even know what they're doing all day. It's a full-time, all the time job. And so you went from full-time, all the time job, which is very exhaustive job because the type of TV that you were in reality TV, which you got cameras in your house and there's people following
not
you
only
around.
just in reality TV, starring in my own shows with my name on it. Like that is a heavy weight to carry. That's a lot of work. And only someone like me could probably pull that off.
So taking that, it's interesting that you bring that up because, the first thing that happens in real estate, and just forget about what your career was before.
Yeah.
When you change careers in real estate and you start letting people know, remember the first time we met, I think we were in Encino or somewhere, and you were kind of like, who is this guy a little bit?
Yeah.
And you were telling me about all the people you knew, and I know you know a lot of people, but when you change careers and you change into real estate, and you start telling people, oh, I'm in real estate now. They're like, okay.
Yeah.
Why do I care? It doesn't even matter. You
Right.
could have been a teacher.
Yeah.
You could have been an engineer.
Of course.
You could have been a landscaper.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're in real estate.
Yeah, I was looking into all of those things.
And they're like, okay, cool, but no. Like, I'm not using you because there's no way you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But the differentiator and the reason why I knew that you were going to pull this off, not right away, and you were impatient at the beginning, and I had to keep saying, you got to chill out. It takes everyone time to learn what to do, is I knew that you were willing to work, like do the bulldog work. And those are the agents that succeed. And I don't know if you were watching the last podcast when we were just talking about who's succeeding right now are grinders, bulldogs, people that are working.
I mean,
they're going
Joel,
to work.
I'm single, and that's for a reason. I love what I'm doing right now. I'm not out, looking for a man or looking for these highs anymore. I'm looking for my success in real estate, and that is so important to me. Yes, I could have been anything else.
So how much
I could have
time,
done anything else.
Tell people, newer agents, I kind of want you to hear this because I know you do this. How much time do you spend? I tell agents all the time, and they're like, I don't have anything to do. They're complaining.
It's
How
easy
much
to
time
fall
do you
into that.
spend you're either looking online, you might be in the MLS, or you might just be driving around. You spend a fair amount of time trying to educate yourself, correct?
I know so many people, like you said right off the bat. I know everyone. So learning is key to where I'm at the moment. Learning is so important. That the education of real estate is the most important key at the moment to me.
And so for you
to break through these walls, to break through these walls and get to the other side.
Do you study an area, like when you're looking, if you're sitting with your laptop, sitting for an hour at 5 o'clock in the morning, are you looking at certain neighborhoods? Is that what you do? Do you just try to canvas and you're just looking at the houses, what's on the market, what's not on the market, and you're just sitting and really looking?
Yeah,
right?
And every now and then I'll find one popping up that I had a meeting with the week before, and I'll be like, oh my God, screw real estate.
Yeah, and by the way, every time something like that happens, you should understand that's how every single agent
I don't get a pass because I'm a celebrity. I don't get a pass for that.
When you see a new listing pop up and you know the owner of the house and it's not your sign, every agent goes through the same thing where they go, oh, how did that happen? That should be my sign.
I know. It's really sad.
The answer falls under what you're doing to build and maintain relationships.
Yes, agreed.
In your case, you're a new agent. I don't care what you did before. It doesn't really matter. You're still new. Again, you could have been an electrician before, and then said, okay, I'm going to sell real estate.
Right.
They're still like, oh, I know Kendra. I like Kendra, but you know what? She doesn't know what she's doing.
Right.
So I can't have her list this.
Of course.
You know,
well, that's why I have Ernie. That's why I have Ernie. Ernie's the most knowledgeable human I've ever met in my entire life.
I want to talk about that because there's a lot of people that I have a big audience of agents, and they're watching this, and they're always asking me about this type of stuff. And talk a little bit about the importance of having a real mentor, somebody that knows what they're doing as a new agent. Again, forget about what you did before. I don't care if you were an engineer.
I don't care either
being
anymore.
being able
I've learned how to drop that care. I'm done.
The big thing now is lots of agents are on teams. They're on all these big teams, but sometimes they're kind of cold. They don't have access. They're not going for a ride with Ernie.
Joel, I'll tell you, I was just in a meeting with some sellers like 4 days ago, and they look at me and they're like, you're so lucky you have Ernie. You're so lucky. And I'm like, I am lucky. But he is too, because I'm like, these are like we're all lucky. Like no one, like he is the most knowledgeable human to learn from. And I'm so blessed to have him in my life. And, every now and then I'll have to pinch myself. And I'm like, how did I end up with the most knowledgeable human on earth? Like everybody kind of like looks at me like, whoa, like you really scored with this guy.
And I want everyone to hear this. This is a really good message this is just Kendra. If you're watching this is Kendra, the new agent. That's what you should be thinking right now. This is not Kendra, who you might have seen having a baby on TV. Forget about that.
But I'll tell you,
this is Kendra, the new agent.
I'm a new agent.
And no. And when you're thinking about this, if you don't know what you're doing and you haven't put yourself in a position to find a really good mentor that cares, that will really teach you, that will spend the time to teach you, that will take you with them on listing appointments, that will let you watch them do their craft. It's going to take you a long time to learn, because you know what? There's tons of books, and you could buy 500 different real estate books. You cannot learn what you learn in that presentation with those clients. Correct?
I totally. My biggest advice is find a great mentor, and there's not a lot of them out there. There's a lot of people that can give you a list of, like you said, a list of things to do. Read a book, learn marketing, But to have an Ernie is a whole nother ballgame. And to find a mentor will help you draw out the best side of you. A great mentor will help you build on top of what you already know and thrive.
That's just a huge message. Again, the zone you're in right now this is just Kendra, the new agent, who's becoming an experienced agent very quickly. With Kendra, one of the cool things for you, and again, there are people that do exactly what you did. Maybe they were an electrician and they know a lot of people as well, so they have people for you to talk to.
Yeah.
The more people you have to talk to, the faster you can learn.
Yeah.
Tell people what you do as a new agent when you're learning stuff. Like when you leave that meeting with Ernie, I know you're excited, but are there things that you do that would be helpful for people to just make sure you're fully absorbing? Like, do you sit and think about it? Do you take notes? Do you what type of things do you do for yourself?
All of it.
Share that. What do? You come out of this great meeting, you're total, you don't, yes, you know
it's
about
not even about a meeting. It's about the last deal I closed.
Right.
That's, what's the saying? You're only as good as the last deal you've closed.
Right.
That's it. The meeting's a meeting, but to close a deal is to close a deal. And that transaction was something this last transaction was different from the transaction before. And every transaction, I can tell that Ernie is like letting me just, do
a little more,
learn a little bit more at a time. This time around, this last time around, I learned so much. I learned what happens after a transaction, not just before. And that's so important to learn as well. How to build relationships with people, and how to stay in touch with people, how to get referrals. So that's huge.
So one of the things that I wanted people to hear, because obviously I know you, is that, you'll get painted with a brush. Oh, that's Kendra. And the only brush you should be painted with in real estate is that you're bulldog, meaning you're going to, I may be new. I may have only closed 10 deals or 12 deals or whatever in my 2 years, but I'm going to work harder. I'm going to outwork everyone else. And anything I don't know, by the way, I can ask this guy right here. So you don't have to worry about anything I don't know.
Yeah.
And you should tell people too, when you don't know, because I know you're good at this. A lot of agents are horrible at this because of their own narcissism. They can't just say, let me get back to you on that.
Yeah.
Like they're giving an answer that is, pardon my French, ass backwards, screwing everything up. And I know you're good at going, hey, no, you know what? I don't know that answer.
Yeah.
Let me write that down and I'll get back to you with
That's
that.
exactly right. Sometimes, during an escrow, you're like right on the minute. Like that's how quick you're moving and thinking, and you have to make all these decisions. And now I give myself some grace, and I'm like, okay, this is still a learning curve for me. I'm going to give my best answer and see it like in certain scenarios, not all scenarios. So most of the time I'm using Ernie. Most of the time I'm calling Alan, our transaction coordinator.
Right. Somebody.
So that's who's going to get you through and close a deal.
You're phoning a friend.
But but there's something for me to learn. I have to just cut the cord just a little bit each time, and in places where, okay, I learned this from Ernie. I know this. I'm going to apply it now. So that's how I'm slowly but surely moving forward. And
what do you talk to me about what some of your favorite things are about real estate, because you talked to me, but we talked a little bit about why you wanted to do it and why you said, oh, this might be a good second career for me. This is interesting. Yeah. I'm into it. I like this. I go in someone's house and I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'm walking around and I'm looking and it's cool. What are some of the things you're liking about it? We don't have to do the negatives just yet because we know the market. Yeah. It's a tough market. It doesn't matter whether you're in Milwaukee or Kansas City or LA. Yeah. Or York, Pennsylvania, my last guest. It's a tough market. Yeah. But what are some of the things that as you wake up in the morning, you're like, okay, I'm psyched. Like, are you liking watching people get the keys? Are you liking what's really getting you more motivated to work harder?
Every real estate deal I've had so far, I've worked with the most amazing humans I've ever met in my life. And, some of them haven't been close friends. They've been complete strangers and people who either A, want to support me in my career, two, they trust me because I'm new, but I'm with Ernie. Right. And it's just spending time with the people, getting to know them, building the relationship. It's just so much fun for me. And that's what I leave room for in my life. That's my time management. I leave room for those types of amazing relationships that I'm building through time.
So I want to seize on that for a second. I want to make sure everyone heard, because you said it fast and only used it once. Kendra used the word fun. Kendra's pretty fun in general. We're not getting into that right now. But Kendra is a fun person. But if you're not having fun, there's three most stressful things in life: death of a family member, divorce, buying or selling a house. You're in the middle of a quote unquote shitstorm when you're a real estate agent. Yeah. So you should be having a little fun. I mean, you didn't be serious.
I didn't know how to have fun at first. Like I was having fun, pushing mentally through the identity issues I was going through. Mm-hmm. And when it wasn't fun, but it was like, I'm going to get there, but it was just so stressful at first. I identified as an entertainer before walking into the gates of real estate. And no one understands unless they've done it, unless they've been in my shoes, how hard it is from going from, entertainer shoes to real estate shoes. It's just such a crazy transition. But I love so just recently I had a moment and I Instagrammed that I quit real estate, which was a huge low for me.
I was like, Kendra, what, first of all, is it 3:00 in the morning? What are you doing?
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Joel. Yeah. It was such I hadn't slept in a few days. Mm-hmm. I was in the middle of a deal.
It happens to the best of us, except a lot of us don't have 4 million followers and post it. We might just think it for a minute, but anyway, yeah.
I know, I messed up big time. Yeah. But fortunately, a lot of people related to it because how many times
it's real. You're just like, enough already. I'm done.
And that was a moment I didn't quit real estate because I was already in a deal, but the moment that I knew that I loved real estate was after I pulled back on real estate. I went to work the next morning, and it wasn't work. It was hanging out with these two amazing, lovely people that I was about to hand the keys to. That moment was I'm getting the chills how happy I was for them. Like, they're starting their new lives. They're happy. They're planning on getting a new dog. I'm like, oh my God. Listen, at that moment, I literally threw my hands up. I thought I was done. I didn't even know if I was getting paid. And I still went to work. I went to work knowing this, I want to be here. I want to be here. I want to be here with these people. I want to finish this deal. I want to just close it and make these people happy. And it made me happy to do that.
What you stumbled into is the core. Yes, you have to be good at your craft, meaning you need to know houses and you need to know what's in the house and you need to know how to write a contract and you need to know everything that goes on top of that. But the core of it is that's all ancillary. The core of it is the caring and the you have their back. And that's what every great agent, when you talk to their clients, it's assumed they're just a great agent, meaning I'm talking contracts and home inspections.
Yeah,
and
right.
stuff. But the piece they say next is they're awesome. I love them. They made sure that this happened for us, or they really cared because, you know, the difference is I was talking to this person about 6 months ago, and they were transitioning from a commercial type of real estate, multi-family into owner-occupied houses. And I said, listen, you're going out of an industry where it's all numbers. How much am I going to make each month? How much is my payment going to be? Do I want this property, income producing property?
Right.
To, I think I'm going to put the swing set there, and I want that bedroom for the 3-year-old. Big difference when you're sitting and talking to the client instead of just running numbers, how much they're going to make on the property. No, these people are like, no, she's going to go in that bedroom and that one's going to go over there and we're going to put the swing set there and then we're going to put the barbecue there.
It's such
and
a
that's
journey. It's such an amazing journey.
It's a massive, for most people, I don't know the percentage. I usually guess it's higher than 90%. I think more than 90% of people that live in the United States, when they reach whatever we're going to call retirement age, because it's weird now, people retire way older, they don't retire at all. The bulk of their money is usually in the equity in their home. It's not necessarily in their IRA or their financial account or whatever. It's in their home. So you're playing around with like the bulk of their money.
Yeah.
And they need to know it doesn't matter whether you've been selling real estate for 2 years or 20 years. That you actually care.
Well,
it's great
I'll tell you about
I'll
tell you about my first deal.
Yeah, let's hear about it.
My very first closing, my very first deal. It was like, oh my God.
Where was the house?
It was in Westlake Village.
Okay.
And it was a friend of mine who developed the house.
Did you list it or did you bring the
Listed.
buyer? You listed it. Okay.
And I was so excited. And she was already coming to me before I passed the real estate test. She out of support.
Good friend of yours.
I'm a single mom.
Yeah.
And yes, some deals are coming from out of women supporting women. And it's just amazing that exists. But they know that I'm backed by Ernie, and it's just all around a win-win-win-win for everyone to work with
Village.
So Westlake Village, I had already started, working on the property. I was so excited to work on this property. I didn't realize that I knew so many people at that moment. Right when we signed the contract, I was like, oh my God, I have to make my clients happy. I have to find the right buyers for their property. So I'm like going through my phone book, thousands and hundreds of thousands of contacts. I'm like, are you looking for a house? You looking for a house? You looking for a house? Looking for a... One said yes, and I'm like, oh my God, I did it. It was crazy. And so the wife was pregnant, married. I mean, they were looking for a home, and I was so excited that I was able to provide, that Ernie and I were able to provide this beautiful property that fit their lives.
And you probably learned just a couple things on that first one, right? Like maybe like
I
100
learned
things, right?
not to film a show on my first deal ever again.
Yeah.
That's what I learned
when the other stuff was going on. That's exactly right. So the human piece, and I say this all the time. The most important things in life are guilt and sympathy, which are human emotions, which you can feel. And what you just talked about, that being sympathetic to. Okay, I know that Kendra does not know what she's doing. It's very clear. I know that her boss does, but I love her. So she's going to work hard, and she'll run around and do whatever she needs to do, and show up at whatever time. I closed the deal
just knowing people.
Yeah.
So that's something to it. And just 3 years now into learning from Ernie, I am just like thriving. Like everything is just working.
Well, you started. When we first met, it was really funny because I was like, hey, what are you doing? And you're like, well, this is what I'm doing. I'm calling my whole black book, my whole address book, and saying, "Hey, it's Kendra. How are you? Do you? I'm in real estate now. Want to sell a house? Buy
And
a
it
house?"
worked.
And I was like, "Who are you calling and saying that to?" Yeah, no.
Day one,
Yeah.
on camera. If you watched Kendra Sells Hollywood,
Right.
you will actually see the moment where I called to get Sue Wong's property.
Right.
That led to one of my favorite sales of my career so far.
Yeah.
That first scene, I thought I was joking around. I was
Right.
like just calling everyone, and I thought it was hilarious. One of those led to that sale.
That's
It was
incredible.
awesome.
So, what type of things are you looking forward to? Because every day that goes by, no matter who it is, I mean, you were on TV for a long time, but every day that goes by, you're more Kendra the agent instead of Kendra the TV personality.
It's like a butterfly. I'm like shedding and turning into this
I'm watching it. I'm watching
monarch butterfly.
I'm getting to watch it live time because I watched the whole transition from the beginning, and it's only going to continue to get better and better and better. And as you get those transactions under your belt,
it's all linear. So it's my career's going to get better as long as I get better. So it all has to work hand in hand. Like my relationship, when I was in entertainment for 20 years, a lot of my job was to create dramas and not have solid relationships. And
no one wants drama with their house.
no one wants drama with their house.
Yeah.
And so I had to completely get so much therapy just to adjust my mindset from all 20 years of drama.
I never really thought about that until
Yeah.
you just said that literally the best TV is the most dramatic TV, the most drama. And you're right, it's the polar opposite of anyone selling or buying a house.
Yeah.
The last thing they want is any drama whatsoever.
I don't want drama, but that was my career. Like, there's pros and cons to every
You're right. And so that mindset, that's a big shift.
I know I don't like to go backwards, but it's a storytelling. Like I'm just giving you an insight of what it's like to transition from entertainment to real estate. Like it's major. It's like more than you'll ever understand. Like
so as you look out and you're seeing and you're getting, optimistically excited, even in what some people would call, we're shooting this, by the way, in the summer of 2024. We're in DC right now in a great studio. And as it's a very tough market, any agent anywhere from Anchorage, Alaska to Miami to anywhere will tell you it's a tough market. It's only going to get better. It's from here. If you're surviving this market, by the way,
I wouldn't
it's only
know
going to
that.
get better.
But
by the way, there are agents, some of the best agents right now are newer agents like you, and you know why they're so good? They have no paradigm. They don't care. They're like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know whether this is bad or good. I don't
Right.
care. I'm just going to keep working.
Right.
Not, remember back in 2020 when I did this? They don't care.
You know what?
They're just
when
working.
people tell me that, when people are like, "Oh man, this is a bad market," I'm like, "Well, not for me." I mean, I'm doing okay. Like I just
Right.
closed. Ernie and I just closed on this gorgeous house in Beverly Hills, and I'm so excited about it. So I mean, that's my reality with Ernie. Like that.
This is such a great message for everyone listening from a mental standpoint. What Kendra just shared is that her attitude, she's not thinking this is a good market or a bad market.
It's negative
She's
thinking.
like, this is my job and I'm going to make the market. Meaning, and that, by the way, I'm a blessed guy. I work with some of the best agents in the country. That is all the way they all think. They're like, what do I care? I don't care what happened in 2020 or whatever. This is
doesn't
today.
matter.
Today is today.
And the last deal is the last deal, and this
And I'm
deal is
gonna
this
bust
deal.
ass.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you think the market's bad. Good.
Yeah.
Get out of my way.
I know what's.
Turn your license.
I know I have like 2 potential sales coming up in the next month or so. Like there's a lot of good things,
Yeah.
and I'm only like thinking positive is the only way to get through this market.
Yeah. And the other thing that I know you've done too, which you should share because I know you've done it, is Kendra has actually taken time besides what I call the on-site mentorship to do the classes, do the contract class, do the whatever class so you can absorb
I could do better.
as much as you can. Yeah, but it's just doing it at all. So many agents, they have all of this at their disposal. Whatever brokerage they work for. You work for Douglas Elliman, they have great stuff.
There's so many new contracts and new twists and turns.
Your job is to know that stuff.
Oh my goodness.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And so no one is absolved of that. Yeah. And that's the fastest way to never do a deal again with someone is to completely, screw it up.
Sure.
So what do you, as you look forward and as you get excited, what are you just super pumped about?
I'm pumped for, the next potential deal. Taking what I've learned, I was 80% probably better this last transaction than the transaction before. That doesn't mean, I didn't mess up or make mistakes.
Everyone does. It's all good.
It doesn't mean there's so much I learned from. So it's all about, going into the next deal with, extra knowledgeable. And and I don't know when, the market's slow. I don't know what, I have a couple, but, it's all about learning from the last deal and knowing yourself. I mean, I believe in growth. I believe in change, and you're looking at it. And it's going to happen, and it is happening.
I've said this for years, and this is a great thing for everyone to listen to. Kendra just said it in her own way. Your success or failure in life, or let's just call it in real estate, depends on how well you deal with your screw-ups, because you're gonna screw up. Meaning, when you screw up, do you just put your head in the sand and pretend it didn't happen? Or do you grab it, learn from it, and deal with it? And this is not just a real estate thing. This is an everything thing. Kendra just said it in her own way. I know that's exactly what you just said. And I always say, literally, I'm going to say it again, your success or failure in life or real estate or whatever depends on how you deal with your screw-ups, because you're going to screw up.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to learn from it? We all do it every day. Ernie does it, and he sold a bazillion houses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's going to happen.
Yeah.
What do you do about it? Do you own it? Do you just go, oops?
And I'm learning minute to minute. I'm not overwhelming myself. Like, each deal I've learned something new. I'm slowly but surely learning it, and I'm growing with it. But I'm not like rushing it or pushing it, or I'm just trying to stay linear with it and make sure I stay focused on my kids. I have kids, and they're they're a lot, they're a lot.
This is a great message, Kendra, because I don't know the percentage now of agents that are females, and it's over 70%. It used to be over 70%. And so what you're saying right now is it resonates with everyone. There's, everyone has kids and has to go pick up a kid at the bus and drop a kid and go to basketball, sit at basketball all day like you do your basketball.
Thank God for Uber.
That's right.
Thank God for Uber. It's been my friend lately.
And so, real estate has always been a great job for parents because you can be more flexible. You can go.
Sure.
You can go to pick your kid up at school and then go to a meeting. And you can go.
Depending on the client, I've had amazing clients. All my clients have been super empathetic with me and being a single mom. So it's always.
So tell me this as we start to get to the end here, because I think people will think it's kind of cute and fascinating, because I've met your kids before and they're both good kids. What do they think watching their mom? And they didn't probably even have to sign the disclosure, but they had the cameras in their house. Yeah. They're old enough now. Yeah. They're 14 and 10, right?
14 and 10.
They're old enough now to. There were cameras in there 5 years ago or whatever, you know what I mean? How do they feel about watching you, create a new career and establish a new career?
Thank you. They're watching me. They've watched me learn real estate in the books, pass the test, and they've seen they see where I'm at now. So it's been a journey in their eyes. They're so proud.
Do they like Kendra the agent better?
They look when people look. It's a huge change for all of us, because now, when people ask what their mom does, it's real estate. It's not, oh, my mom's a celebrity, Right. So it's an amazing change for all of us, and it's a healthy change for all of us and my family.
That's awesome. Yeah. So everyone, I'm very fortunate today to have Kendra with me in the studio. I think there's a lot of great takeaways for this. For all agents, whether you have a ton of experience and you have younger agents on your team, whether you're newer getting into the business, whether you're really making a massive career change, which Kendra made massive, went from A to B, no crossover career change. And we're super excited. I know I'm excited to watch you grow because I'm already seeing it, and it's just awesome. So thank you so much for
Joel.
spending time
Thank you
with me
so
today.
much.
You're welcome.
I love this guy.
She's taking a big Joel bobblehead.
I'm taking it with me.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.